Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It finally happened. Donald Trump called Putin, threatened Putin, Putin shitted his pants, and the war will be over in no time. Russia will retreat and will give reparations to everybody and will take it deep at any moment. Is it true? Well, according to sources, I think it's from Washington Post, and sources familiar with the issue, that's exactly what Trump must have told Putin in their real conversation. Is it true? Everything I said, is it? Well, we're going to decipher that. That's the first topic. The second topic, we have Scholz. Scholz, still Chancellor of Germany, wants to talk with everybody to stop the war. He wants to talk to Putin. He wants to talk to Trump. No, Scholz. No, you are part of the beginning. You weren't that big tough guy before February 2022. You are also responsible. So now you're not a peacemaker. After you fail, you're not a peacemaker. You try to hang the other guy. Now you failed. The big guy, supposedly, not the big guy, the other one, the big guy, the new sheriff comes in town. You go like a weasel next to him with his Trump, and together you're gonna get the Nobel's Peace Prize that take a poop on. Why? They gave Elie Wiesel a Nobel's Prize. They gave it to Obama. Please, that's garbage. The other topic we have here, supposedly the Americans want to replace Zelensky from his position of whatever he is in Ukraine. Master clown? I think so. So let's start with the first piece of news right here. How Trump speaks with Putin about war in Ukraine and Putin shit his pants. Literally, man. Sunday, 10 November. Here they are. The Washington Post has reported that the US President-elect Donald Trump held a phone conversation with Russian leader. Now he's a leader, not a dictator anymore. We elevate him. Why? Because Donald Trump would not speak with a dictator. Clear? Clear. On November 10th, the source, Washington Post, citing multiple informed sources. Who are they? Who are they, I would like to know. Just familiar with the issue. The newspaper sources revealed that Trump and Putin discussed the war in Ukraine. This was their first phone call since Trump's election victory. One source, what's his name, Gigi? Shared that during the call, now here it is, which Trump made from his resort in Florida, he advised the Russian leader against escalating. Then what? They're going to do the war in Ukraine, and reminded him of Washington's significant military presence in Europe. So was it like this? Hey, Putin, I warn you, or I advise you against escalating. That means stop it right now, because we have armies in Europe, and if you escalate, we're going to bring them and fight with you. And Putin forgot that he's got nuclear weapons and say, yes, Donald Trump, I think we will not do that. And if you do that, we're going to fuck you up. And Trump was like, damn, man, I love it. What are you wearing? I think that's exactly how if the sources come with this shit, why can't I? Oh my God, here it is. So several sources, that's more than two, said that Trump and Putin discussed the need for peace on the European continent, with Trump expressing an interest in further talks to discuss a swift resolution to the war in Ukraine. Excellent. The newspaper noted, citing two sources, that the Ukrainian government was reportedly informed about the call with Putin and had no objections to it. What if they had? The student has objections to the principal of the school? Are you kidding me? It's taking place. As reported, Ukrainian officials have long understood that Trump would engage with Putin regarding diplomatic solutions to the war in Ukraine. Got that? So this guy said, guys, we're going to give up. All right, next one. Trump calls Putin. Even the Russians report that. On the 10th of November, Trump calls Putin. Washington Post. The U.S. President-elect has reportedly called the Russian leader to discuss the Ukraine conflict and its potential settlement. Para-papa. The phone call took place on Thursday, shortly after Trump secured his election victory, they say. The U.S. President-elect reportedly urged Putin not to escalate, quote-unquote, the conflict, reminding him of the significant U.S. military presence in Europe, one of the sources told the Daily. Apart from that, Trump and Putin spoke about the goal of peace and pa. Got that? All right. Now, let's see what do we have here. What the Kremlin says. Washington Post. Trump claim pure fiction. The Kremlin. So that's a pure fiction lie. Now, it doesn't mean that the Russians are telling the truth. This is their response. Why would they say the big puffed guy here, did not actually call? It was not a call made. So let's discuss. So it's pure fiction. It never happened, according to the Russians. The Washington Post says, no, it happened. Now, we have a lot of liars here, with a history, antecedents. The Washington Post report about the purported phone call, and I'm quoting, absolutely does not correspond to reality. Absolutely. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said. U.S. President, we know that one. And it says here, Peskov said on Monday that the article was a quote-unquote vivid example of the equality of information published by even some respectable outlets. Are you calling Washington Post a respectable outlet? You gotta be kidding me, man. And I'm quoting, this absolutely does not correspond to reality. This is pure fiction. This information is simply false. End quote, he said. So they didn't call at all, or they called, but that was not the, what these guys, the threats, the warning, the advice. So, and I'm quoting, reports that the Ukrainian side was informed in advance of the alleged call are false. End quote. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry spokesman told Reuters on Sunday. So again, someone's lying big time here. Trump claimed while on the campaign trail that he could end the Ukraine conflict in 24 hours, end quote, if US voters grant him a second term in office. All right, so this is what it is, right? Now let's see what's... The Washington Post reported a phone call between Trump and Putin based on accounts by sources, again, familiar with the matter, who spoke on a condition of anonymity. This is what it is. Next one. Sputnik. Kremlin shoots down, quote-unquote, false reports about alleged Putin-Trump conversation. What are you wearing, baby doll? Oh, well, the same thing I last time. Love you, what's that? Love you to 10 minutes, love you long time, or whatever it is. There was no conversation between Russian President Vladimir Putin and US President-elect Donald Trump. There was no conversation between Russian President Vladimir Putin and President-elect Donald Trump. And all reports about it are false. So no conversation. The Russians claim. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry said, this is the most obvious example of the quality of the information that is now, I said equality on the other one, being published, sometimes even in fairly reputable outlets. This is completely untrue. This is pure fiction. This is just false information. Peskov. So close Washington Post. Everyone, if the Russians are right or truthful. Now, why would they say that they did? Well, let's say the conversation took place. Let's say Trump told Putin, little guy, I'm going to queue up, and this guy shit his pants because he was not a spy in harm's way whatsoever. The other guy was not shot at. Okay, and they said fight. So I think we're dealing with two men with balls here. So if one guy threatens the other one, the other guy, do you think, went under a little safe space over there, held his pussy? Is that what you think it was? I don't think it was like that whatsoever. My feeling is my feeling. I don't like feelings when I use in assessments. But sometimes you have gut feelings. I gotta tell you that. And according to studies, the gut feeling is something that we have from our ancestral whatever. And the gut feeling is something that we can explain, and most of the time is accurate to the person that you meet or the situation you analyze. But I like to be very much pop. So it's things that I can't, how do you call that? I can understand. I don't deny their existence, like the telepathic thing. I don't deny that, or the deja vu, not the deja vu, the deja vu thing that I've been here before. Happened too many times, and the certain coincidence, like impossibilities that happened in my life and my friend's life and people that I know. Something is there. What is there? I can't explain, so I'm not, but there is something. So nevertheless, here, I think these guys, if they spoke, I don't think that was the conversation, because I don't think Putin was a weasel. He's at war, all right? And it's possible the conversation never took place. So I don't trust, I trust zero that the conversation took place and took place the way these guys reported it. If the conversation took place, it was not like that. And I don't think it occurred. All right. And the Kremlin could have said, if they were Hollywood inclined, to say, no, actually, it wasn't like that. When Trump said that, Putin said what I just told you at the beginning of this video. Donald, I have nuclear weapons. I'm going to you up and take Melania with me. All right. So let's go to the next on a white horse. Let's see how these guys want supposedly to remove Zelensky. According to Sputnik, the Russians. Not necessarily true. Always remember, we verified, and patience. Truth needs more time to come over to the table. The lie is first over there. Park its Bentley. U.S. eyes holding presidential parliamentary elections in Ukraine in 2025. Russian intel. This is just reported. Doesn't mean it's true. And this guy say what? How do you say that in Yiddish? Say what? Oh, he says like ha. It's exactly ha. Say what? Что казалось? It's in Ukrainian. What are you talking about? Что казалось? So ha, because he speaks. I like myself. The U.S. plans to throw in an initiative on elections in 2025. Since when the United States can plan elections in a foreign, independent, sovereign country? Rules-based world order. So by saying this, but this is the Russians, don't have to believe them. I don't believe them. It's possible, 100%. Is it probable? 90% in my books. It doesn't mean it's true, right? But do you think that it's impossible for the Americans to tell the baboon, okay, now get the hell out, and will be like, shalom, I'm leaving? Well, I think so. He's going to pack his bags, go to London, not to Jerusalem or Tel Aviv or New York, or those two areas. 3 areas usually they go to. Previous history with other imbeciles. So this is according to Russian foreign intelligence. Washington is considering holding presidential and parliamentary elections in Ukraine in 2025. By 2025, Ukraine will be Russian, amid ongoing hostilities with Russia. That's what I think. Next one. U.S. could replace Zelensky, Russian intel agency. So the elections prove that Shtokokoko right here will be replaced. All right. Washington considers the Ukrainian leader to be, quote-unquote, overly entitled and may remove him from power, as SVR has claimed. I don't know if that's true. The U.S. is considering holding an election in Ukraine. So it doesn't mean that tells me the elections will be rigged. If you already know that these guys will be removed, that means he's going to be losing. What if he wins? So on one side they say we want to remove him, therefore we're going to conduct some elections. Well, elections is the will of the people. He could become be still there. So that means you rig the elections, so that means the elections are not fair and free. Well, you know what I think about the elections, don't you? That's why Trump is selected by the voters. All right, let's read the first paragraph. That's all I give this one. The U.S. is considering holding an election in Ukraine next year as a legitimate means of replacing the government of Vladimir Zelensky. But what if they win? You don't know. I'm sorry, they do know. The Russian Foreign Intelligence Services claimed on Monday. I don't know if that's true or not. And the thing is, overly entitled, I don't think that's the case. He just plays his role. Next one. Hopa tsopa. We got this. Look at this fucker. Look at this. My God. Look at this. I should put my telephone screen with this. Look at that. Now, this is it. If this would be my father, I would say, do you know that guy? Who that? Nah. Yeah. That's the guy. That's the leader of Deutschland über niemals. Man. Jesus Christ, superstar. Anyway, but he's coming to the fray of being a peacemaker now. Remember Nate Diaz, the UFC fighter? Nate Diaz was fighting McGregor. I don't know, the first fight or the second fight, and at one point, Conor McGregor is a sniper with direct right one, bam bam, and he's good with fist, with punches, and Nate Diaz is good with wrestling, and he's good with everything. He's more rounded, I think, but nevertheless. So when they fought at one point when McGregor got tired, he started jumping on Nate Diaz to get him to the ground, and this guy's now, we're gonna wrestling now. Are you wrestling now? Are you a wrestler now, motherfucker? Or something like this during the fighting. Yeah, the same here. Now you're a peacemaker, motherfucker? I'm talking to Ssholz, the same here. Are you wrestling now? A wrestler now? Yeah, the same here. Are you a peacemaker? Shut the hell up, your weasel, dickhead. The German Chancellor says he's not in a position to unilaterally, that means lack of courage, initiate communication with the Russian president. What are you talking about? I thought Germany is an independent sovereign country. It's sovereign, independent foreign policy. That tells you who's who, what's what, okay? So he's not in a position. What do you mean not in a position? Take the position, bend over. Oh, you're already bent over? Oh, my bad. So what's going on then? You stink? You don't moan or something? So here, my friends, it's just, he's not in a position. So he's waiting for what? For an order, or waiting for Trump to... He's going, let's go, Macron, let's go, Macron, allez, and both with their little high heel shoes. Let's go to the next one. Here it is. Ukrainska Pravda. Scholz reiterates his desire. I desire wealth and women. His desire, his will to speak with Putin soon. I'm calling you back soon. What the hell? Look at this guy. This is the leader, man. Why they make fun of these guys? My friends, for the elder audience, like me and older than I am, I know you are over there in a majority. I know my proportion on who's watching my videos. And thank you very much. It means you guys, and I'm talking about the people above the age of, let's say, 30 or something like this. You know a lot. You've been through a lot. You've been around the block. So I feel like a badge of honor that mostly my viewers are older, like I am, and older than I am. Why? Because if they like what I say, that means we're fantastic. I mean, I'm not saying the young people would not understand what we're talking about, but here I'm talking to you guys with a crème de la crème, because we got time to experience life, learn. Inform ourselves. We are more, like the wine. The older the wine, the better. Some wine, not all wine. If you keep it longer, it's gonna get better. Now, that's why you have like 3 years, 2 years wines. That's the peak. So let's go. It's only rock and roll. Say it, Emil. So we know when we see a person, we're just looking at that person and his behavior, the way he moves on. Yes, he shakes hands. We already know what kind of person that is. You know that I'm talking about is true 100%. And the more experience you have with people, the smarter you are, the know the psychology, the body language, the micro facial expression and so on. If you study that, if you were training that, if you trained yourself, you know. So when you see this mother, you can't say this is a strong, where are you? You cannot. You learned through experience, my friend. And here you'll find out that Scholz and Trump discuss restoring peace. Who fucked up it in the first place? Scholz? Not Trump. Who? Oh, Putin, my bad. So, my friends, here is the situation. First one, Trump and Putin most likely did not speak. The other one, Zelensky will be airlifted and dropped into London or New York. Not in the Mediterranean little thing over there. And Scholz tries to make peace as much as he can right now because the Germans are fed up. He's a politician weasel. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. My hair looks like shit.